And then here I am, Cleveland. We're at Quicken Loans. LeBron's town, and it's just amazing feeling. So now I'm nervous. I'm sitting backstage. I'm checking. I'm one of the first ones there. I'm with Ted. I'm with Cody. Ted has been on the road now a couple months, doing their run as a team. And I'm nervous and I'm nervous and I'm nervous. I'm just waiting for any kind of news, and everybody's very welcoming, and I'm just waiting for anything. And then we get the green light. They're like, all right, so we're filming. Now we're starting to film promos. And I'm like, oh, this is happening. This is going to happen. Yeah. This is going to happen. This is a pay-per-view. This isn't Raw. This is a pay-per-view. This is big, and then we're doing our promos. We filmed 4 or 5 promos that night in different locations around the building, in different locker rooms and different settings. And then it was time for the match, and I had my cue and I'm standing there in Gorilla. It's just me and Gorilla. It's not like you're waiting as a match with the ref and everybody. It's just me standing there watching the match, waiting for my cue. And then I get it. And I just explode. It must have been the fastest run down the ramp ever. I tell you, I was down that ramp so fast, I feel like the camera missed me running. Next thing you know, I'm just hitting the ring and adrenaline is at 1,000,000, and it's just everything that you ever wanted, this moment, and it will always be there, and it was awesome. It was awesome to do it with Teddy and to do it with Cody and do it with, Crime Time. And man, it was awesome. And sold out crowd, on pay-per-view, it was dream come true. And then a little side story about that. When I debuted, I had Samoan Storm Afa Jr. Gear on that I slid by. So here I am wearing this gear all day long. Nobody noticed anything until I was in the ring and they're taking pictures of me. And they're like, does it say Samoan Storm? Does it say Afa Jr. on your tights? And I was just like, yeah. No, they're like, come here. And walked me right to the seamstress. I had new gear immediately for the next night. So that night in Cleveland, at Unforgiven, I debuted as Afa Jr. And then the next night they made me put my hair back and made me shave and do all that stuff and took my color away from my gear and made me boring.
Did you know Ted and Cody before this?
I knew Ted from FCW. We were training together down there. He was one of the Tampa boys. I had met Cody when I did a run in OVW. Because in the beginning, they had sent me to OVW for a little bit because I was first tagging with Sonny Siaki as a Samoan Fight Club in FCW, and I would always wrestle, the Hearts and the Major Brothers. That's who the teams were back then, and we were always married to them. So the Major Brothers ended up going to Louisville. So me and Rosie. They sent me there, and then they brought in Rosie, who wasn't signed at the time, and they were looking at him again. And he was fresh off his TV show at the time. He did the weight loss show where they walked from Boston to DC or something like that. So he dropped a ton of weight, looked great. So we were tagging there for a little bit in OVW. So I pretty much experienced the whole thing. The whole.
Was Jim Cornette there?
No. Al Snow was there when I was there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Tell me about talk to me about Cody Rhodes.
So Cody, so I met him in OVW when I was there tagging with Rosie. Didn't really know him. We went out, bought me a couple drinks. Very nice guy at the time. Then we're on the road. Nice guy, and nice guy. What's up, Cody?
Talk to me about Randy Orton.
Next question.
Okay. Yeah.
No comment.
I have no idea. Okay.
Yeah, no comment on them.
All right. That's your show, buddy. You're the director. You're the director. Okay, so talk to me about Legacy. Legacy.
Legacy was dope. So Legacy, the whole idea was to be the second generation takeover thing. Originally, it wasn't written to involve Randy. It was supposed to be me, DiBiase, Carlito was supposed to be the lead at the time, and Primo was supposed to be in the group because it was a bunch of us second generation guys in camp. Mr. Perfect's kid was there. Yeah, there was a few of us that were there, so it was supposed to involve all of us, like disgruntled mid-card guys who weren't going to put up with this anymore and we're taking over the business. So we had a lot of cool stuff designed inside the original Legacy idea. Originally, it was supposed to be called The Uprising. It was about, I believe Orton named it The Legacy, and ended up running with that. But before Orton ever came on, like the whole Nexus thing where they came out and took the ring apart, and all that was originally designed for us. So like they took our gimmick and like took it off, and they ended up doing like a couple different things with two other factions, that was originally designed for the Legacy. So it was a fun run. It was a great time. I'm wrestling, so I always had like a top three guys. I always tell everybody, like all my students and stuff like that, I always tell them pick three guys, kind of different styles. Take and borrow from each guy, make it your own. So my three guys have always been Owen Hart, my brother Samu, obviously, because the Samoan, and D'Lo Brown. So when I was on the road, I all around the world, I'm wrestling D'Lo Brown now. Singles, and we're in Paris, we're in Spain, we're in UK, we're all over Europe, and I'm wrestling D'Lo, like one of my top three guys. I studied, couldn't do any of his moves when I was working him because obviously it's him. Because I borrowed a lot from D'Lo. But it was just, man, it was a dream come true to be on that road, just to experience, the life, like, the lifestyle that they live, it's not easy. It's not easy by any means, the demands that go into it and the sacrifices that the boys make. It's not easy at all, but man, it's a time of my life.
I was D'Lo Brown's tryout match for Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
No way.
Yeah.
I got D'Lo coming in next week. He's having a seminar in my training center. So it's like, I can't wait to see him.
I always tell him that he would have got a job if it wasn't for me. If I sandbagged him in that tryout and made him look like crap,
oh man. Oh man, I love it.
Yeah, it was me, him, and Balls Mahoney driving up to Clarksville, Kentucky.
Yeah,
it was like,
that's awesome. I love Balls.
Can we do
man? Balls. I had a few good times with Balls on the road. So
crazy. Can we do like a word association with some of the guys that you worked with when you were up there? You can give me one word. You can give me 5 minutes, as long as you want. Just I'll name a name. Tell me what first thing comes in your head.
Let's do it.
Batista.
Wild Samoan Training Center. Couple words. Yeah, graduate. That's what I'm saying. Wild Samoan Training Center graduate.
There you go.
Kofi Kingston stiff.
Really?
Oh man, his little spin kick that he does, his finisher. When he was first ironing that thing out, he used to blast me all the time. And I used to get into it one time with him. I was just like, dude, why do you kick so hard? And he's a small guy, so he's just like, come on, man, come on, Oos, you got it, you can take it. I was like, he's like, and I got kick pads on, Oos. I was like, all right, bet. Let me put boxing gloves on and let me punch you as hard as I can. Deal. And then after that, he kind of lightened up. But yeah, Kofi stiff. I'm sure he's not stiff anymore, but back then, yeah. John Cena, the man. John Cena was the man at the time.
Edge.
Oh, Edge is a great guy. He's like family. Last time I saw him, he came up. We had the big Samoan Dynasty reunion in Jersey. It was at one of these signings, and we had all of us there. It was like the only time that's ever happened. And Edge was like, the marquee guy of the convention, and he was the first one to stop what he was doing, come over, pay his respects to us and the family and stuff like that. And he's just a great guy.
CM Punk,
we made a lot of money together.
Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho's, man, I had nothing but respect for Jericho. You know, Jericho taught me a few things. He pulled me aside a few times when I was on the road. We went out, had a great time. I went to Loch Ness with Jericho when we were out there. I saw the Loch Ness Monster. You know, we took a boat out, everything. Like, I saw the monster. I guess you had to be there, but that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Triple H.
Triple H, smartest man in the business.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels, bestseller in the business.
Johnny Ace.
Johnny Ace. So Johnny Ace took credit for me being signed. So once I hit the road, I was a Johnny Ace guy. So, you know, what's up, Johnny?
Last name, Vince McMahon.
Oh, man, I love Vince. I love Vince. Vince has been loyal to our family. My family has been loyal to him. And nothing but respect for Vince.
Any personal interaction with Vince? Anything you can talk about on the show?
Yeah, I remember one time it was like Vince kind of G-checked me a little bit on the road. We're cutting a promo and we're rehearsing, and I hate rehearsals like pretty much every wrestler does. We hate rehearsals, you know, so for TV and Raw and stuff like that, you got to do your rehearsals, and I'm going over and I'm just, yeah, you could tell I'm kind of bored with it. Like, I'm just kind of going through it, like doing the lines, and I'm bored with it. And Vince, hey kid, gotta put some bass in your voice when you cut these promos. And it was just like, oh no.
You do a great Vince.
On, I was just like always self-conscious about my bass and my voice and stuff like that. So I was just like, oh man, Vince. But you know, and then another time, my very first match ever with Vince, I was in FCW camp. They called us all down. It was the night Jericho did the Y2J Save Us comeback. It was in Fort Lauderdale. It was the night that he came back. Like, months and weeks to build this thing, and this is the night he comes back. So we're all there ringside, working out, you know, doing our stuff, being part of the show as extras, whatever the case may be. So down comes some agents with Hacksaw, and Hacksaw, he comes walking by, and I'm standing there with Sheamus and Kazarni and Dolph Ziggler and, you know, a bunch of these guys. And Hacksaw goes, I'm looking for a heel to work tonight. So everybody puffs their chests up, flex the traps a little bit, you know, do this sort of thing. Here I go, let the hair down a little bit. And he walks by, he's sizing us up, you know, and then he picks me. And I'm just like, yes, this is my first time ever in a WWE event. Like, I've done WWE contracted work, you know, through FCW and developmental systems and stuff, but never in the arena. Never, no dark matches, no house shows. Like, nothing. I never experienced a crowd of that size for the WWE, only through, you know, like sports fests and stuff like that. We got those kind of crowds, but WWE, this is it. Packed. I mean, to the rafters for Jericho for his return. That place was flooded with people. So I do the match with Hacksaw. He hits me with the clothesline, pins me 1, 2, 3. We go to the back. Vince comes up. He goes, man, I haven't seen Hacksaw sell like that for years. He goes, we put the wrong guy over tonight. Sorry about that, kid. Gave me the pat, and it was just like one of those moments. Like, I will never forget that moment, you know? And it was just like, so those two interactions, it was just like, I got the greatest pat on the shoulder, and then he cut my legs off in the next one.
Was that a dark match? Was that a Sunday Night Heat? What was that?
It was on Heat.
What'd they call you?
They called me, it was supposed to be Mai Tai Anawai, Mai Tai being high chief in Samoan culture, but they ended up announcing me, Lillian, sweetheart, she announced me as Mai Tai. So then now everybody's calling me a Mai Tai. And I was, you know, barefoot, Samoan, you know, I had the lava on, I had the headband on, you know, and I was total Samoan out. And yeah, they butchered my name. So it was a one night only Sunday Night Heat. I don't even know if it was just Sunday Night Heat or just Heat, you know. So, but yeah, it was in November.
I'm gonna try and find that when we're done here.
Yeah, if you do, let me know, man. I haven't seen that one. I remember trying to pump my ass off for Hacksaw, but he did. He sold his ass off for me, and then afterwards, he takes me out and buys me a steak, and he takes me out to dinner, and he's telling me stories how he worked everyone in their family, and you know, and it was just like, man, this is awesome. Like, this is definitely what I want. you know, and then you had to go back and wait for the call.
We can edit this part out if you don't want to answer this. Is there a reason why you got released? Is there a reason why they ended Legacy? Like, or do you not want to go there?
Yeah, sure. I was told that when, like, we were going through, you know, we were building up to the Royal Rumble and stuff like that, and then I just got a call that I wasn't needed at TV. I was already at the airport. I was just like, oh, I'm already at the airport. They're like, well, you know, see you next week, kind of deal. So I was just like, oh, that's weird. So then the next week, same thing. I was on my way to the airport, get the call, not needed. Third week, and I just kept getting those calls. Like, I wasn't needed at TV, and I was like, this is strange. You know, like, I wasn't getting anything. And then Johnny Ace calls me, and he tells me that I'm going to go down to FCW. They're going to repackage me with Sim Snuka. And then we're going to come back as the baby faces versus heel Cody, you know, Cody and Ted. And we'll get our revenge after getting kicked out of the group, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm waiting, nothing. I guess I made the mistake of calling to check on travel. And I guess they remembered. Like, oh yeah, I guess I forgot to do something. And then they called me back shortly after that. And I got cut. And then I was like, you know, I have to ask why. I was like, I need to know why. You know, for me, I need to know why. And this was their moment to tell me to shoot with me. They didn't shoot. They chose not to shoot with me. They told me that I wasn't aggressive enough, and it was like the biggest kick in the nuts, you know, because I was going in, like, they had to slow me down because I was doing too much, you know, and they were like, I was doing dives. I was going crazy in FCW trying to get their attention. You know, I was doing they literally told me to calm it down. So then I calm it down, and then I get the call up. And I was always trained, do what gets you to the dance. Like, don't forget what gets you to the dance and keep doing that. So I was just like, oh, well, I wasn't really going that crazy, you know? So I kind of gave them the version of me that I felt they wanted. And then it wasn't that. I guess they wanted the one that I was going crazy in FCW when they told me to calm down and not be so aggressive and stuff like that. So it was just like, man, it was such a big cop out. It was a cop out moment, you know? So yeah, according to them, I wasn't aggressive enough. So I've been working the rest of my career to prove that wrong. Like, you can't ever say that about me, ever.